So I'm going to put some flooring down now. I think if I was doing this in a house, I might use something like engineered hardwood, something that looks really, really beautiful. But I think for a van, for a bus rather, we're going to be coming in and out a lot. It will take a lot of abuse. It might get wet. So I'm going with vinyl planks just because they're super hard wearing. They're also very easy to install. So first thing, I'm going to put some underlay down, get vinyl planks into an area, and then I can put all of the things that need to stay in the room on those planks and then do the rest of the room. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But the reality is I'm sure something will become difficult, but I think it's a fairly easy job. Vinyl won't expand as much as wood, so I'm just using these. I found some 6mm ply in the shed, so I just cut that down in some little packers. So I'll use that to space all around the side, so I've got a 6mm gap, just in case there is a bit of expansion or contraction. I was going outside to cut each one. That got a bit annoying. I'm going to try and cut inside. Hopefully don't create too much mess doing that. But I've got it hooked up to a dust extractor, so should be good. I just flipped over the box on one of these and happened to look at the instructions, and it suggests cutting it with a knife, not cutting it with the saw. Hate to admit it, that's actually a really good idea. It'll cut down on mess and it'll be quicker. Don't know why I didn't think of that. Give it a go, cut it with a knife. Read the instructions first, boy. I just scored a line and snapped the vinyl tile, and it worked very easily with this lovely little $2 Japanese utility knife. The downside of using a miter saw to do the job is it creates loads of mess. That plasticky stuff dulls the blade. It takes up space because you've got the saw in the workplace. I could go on. Sometimes it pays to read the instructions. That's a message for me, not you. Bloody idiot. That works a bit easier than trying to cut it with a saw, doesn't it? Why didn't you tell me? I bet some of you did. I bet some of you were like shouting at the TV screens, use a knife, don't use a saw. Knife, a lot easier. I'm trying to figure out how this stair area is going to work. So I want the wood floor is obviously going to finish along this line here. And then in this section, I'm going to put some metal. I've got a metal sheet here and I'm going to put some metal down underneath the fire. It's not like the fire's going to transfer any heat onto the wooden floor because it's got this metal box, so that's good. But it's just I need some kind of protection. I think when you're opening this, if a piece of wood were to fall out, it would wreck the floor. So I'm going to put some metal up to about here, and then run a channel down here to hold the wood in place. Should work. Yeah, no, it will. No, it should work. It'll work. It'll work fine. It'll work fine. Oh, cool. Oh, loads more than I thought. All right, cool. So now, put that. What's that now? Almost there. Putting the cardboard under here really helped just slide it into place. It was quite easy once that was down. If you're wondering why I didn't put this down in the first place and then install the stove on top of it, when I got the stove I didn't actually have the metal, and town's a 45-minute drive, and I just wanted to get on with it. So that's that. But now it's all square, I'm going to screw it into the floor. I'm using these, I use these for the roof, just roofing screws with a little rubber seal, so that will help hold it down and just keep it steady. While that works, that's definitely rock solid. It's not going anywhere. I'm going to use this to surround the fireplace because it's got a channel in it which is going to hold the laminate flooring. So I'm just going to mark this off and then cut it at 45 degrees. Could do it by hand, but it'll probably be a bit messy with me cutting it. Tempted to break out the chop saw just because I know I'll get a perfect 45 then. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll get the saw out. Glad I used the chop saw for that. That's a pretty neat 45 degrees that I definitely wouldn't have got by hand. I'm just testing this out and it works in theory. The only issue I've got is the screws I'm using to hold this down need to be countersunk into that in order to get this get this thing flush. If the screw, where the screws are sticking in, it's just not going to sit right, and then the floor won't hold together properly. I don't have a metal countersink bit. I think if I would just drill a larger hole with a normal drill bit, should help. Give that a bash, see what happens. Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. Right, just got to go and do the rest of them now. Cool. That was massively satisfying. There's something nice about when everything all just fits together perfectly. It took a little bit of fiddling to get this right, but it's working. Yeah, that's going to be good. I'm really happy with that. Done. That's the last one in. Really happy to have that finished. Best of all, it matches the mallet. Look at that. Oak mallet there. It looks exactly the same. Anyway, yeah, that's all done. So the only thing I've got to do now is put some skirting board around so that will hold the floor in place. As nice and tight as that mitre joint is, it looks absolutely destined to stab me in the foot at some point. So I'm just going to file it round if I can. I'll just use a bit of metal to protect the floor.